One of the very important panels in Illustrator is the property panel. So if I have the selection tool selected without having anything in the artboard or any shape selected, the property panel shows options related to, for example, the artboard, the ruler, grid, guides. So you can control these options and editing the artboard. Um, and one thing, for example, when I click on the edit artboard, this is basically affecting the size of the working area. You can also copy by holding the alt, you can copy the artboard and like create another artboard. And you have basically two artboards to work with. But let's do the Command Z. We want to have one artboard right now. Now let's create some basic shapes. I'm gonna do some rectangles. Don't worry about like the color and anything else. I want to show you how the property panel changes when you have different shapes and when you select them. For example, right now, if I select this square, you will see the options in the property panel is changing. So why? Because it's based on the shape that I selected. Here, for example, in the appearance, you can change the fill color, and later you will learn more how to change the color from other options or panels in Illustrator. And also you can add the stroke or change the color of the stroke. I can affect the opacity, so many other options. Another helpful one is the align, and you can basically align your shape based on the selected key object or based on the artboard. So if you see this icon on the left in the align menu, you can click on it and it shows like align to the selection or key object or artboard. So right now it's based on the artboard, and for example, if I zoom out, which is command minus. And if I try to put it like in the center and the middle of the artboard, basically by clicking on these toggles or options in the line, I can definitely affect it. But imagine that I have multiple shapes selected. So right now, if I go and like align it to it automatically switch to align to selection. And right now I can, for example, um, imagine this one is not aligned to the top. And if I select these two and align it, vertical align top, definitely you will see they are aligning with each other. Or like these three shapes, I can do the bottom. You will see the line is changing based on the selection that I have. So this is one other good and handy feature in the property panel. The other one is the arrangement, which is really helpful. For example, imagine that I have these different layers or shapes stack on top of each other. And if I want to change the arrangement, for example, if I want to have the green one on top, what I do, I select it and click on the arrange. It has the option bring forward or bring to front. If I want to bring it to the front, I will bring it to the front. If I want to bring it to forward, for example, click on the forward. Now it's gonna be on top of the other square. But if I want to bring it to front, I select it and click on the arrange and bring to front. Or for example, I want to send this one back. I can click on it and send it back. So this is the way that you can affect the arrangement of the layers from the property panel. But also keep in mind, when you work in the layer panel, you can definitely select a layer and drag it to the top And now you will see this one is on top. You can change the stack or the order that they are stacking on top of each other from the layer panel as well. So I highly recommend you to take a look at property panel because this is a very handy and helpful panel, and definitely you can make so many changes and modify options of your path or shape with the property panel. So now let me tell you about some uh, important and basic commands in Illustrator. One thing is that you can group different shapes with each other, and definitely you can scale, transform them, move them, like do them like all as a group. The way that you do, it depends like how many of the paths that you want to group with each other. I can select, for example, these two, and with Command or Control G, I can group them. And when I select, click here, now both of them are selected. Or I can right click and ungroup them again. So whenever you want to ungroup them, you can right click and ungroup. Or I can select 3 of them together right now, and with Command G or Control G or right click, I can group them together. So this is one important command. Another thing is getting into isolation mode. This is one feature really important when you're working with complex shapes in Illustrator. So I have another shape here. It is created from complex paths and different shapes. So for example, and they are grouped together. If I click here and if I delete, you will see like a group is selected. But imagine that I want to select this just orange path. What I do when I have a group of paths or shapes, I need to hover over my mouse to the area that I want to go to the isolation mode and start double clicking on them. So when you double click, you will see it's just like highlighted and the color is just like dim in other areas. So I can keep continue clicking. So again, I can continue double clicking and I will see exactly the path that I want to target it, okay? So for example, right now I can change the fill, or I can make so many changes. I can make it bigger, smaller. Or if I can, or I can just delete it. I will do whatever I want. And if you want to go out from the isolation mode, you need to here, you will see the path that it goes to the isolation mode. You will see this a small arrow on the left. Just click on this one and it comes out from the isolation mode. And that specific path that you wanted to change, um, you just selected and you changed it. Illustrator in general, it is really important you get to the point that you want to group objects and shapes together, and later when you want to make some changes, you want to isolate that specific path and make changes. Also, as I mentioned, with the command plus and minus, you can zoom in and zoom out in your artboard. And I think command 0, yeah, it just like shows the artboard in a full screen, and you will be able to see it. If, for example, if I just like command plus and the command 0, it shows the full artboard for me.